Hey, what's up, studs, and welcome to Ask on Our episode 269.
Nice.
In this series, I answer your question. If you have a question for next week's episode, leave it down in the comment section below. Leave a like while you're there. And I am filming this before Game 7. I am cautiously optimistic that the Celtics will win, but by the time you're watching this video, you'll know the answer. First question from Fritz says, what are your thoughts on the new superhero sets for the summer? And we'll start with the Batman ones. I saw a lot of criticism that it's just Batman and the Joker. The biggest issue with these sets is pricing. It is actually insane how much these sets cost. Starting with the Batman versus the Joker Chase Batmobile, $48? Are you kidding me? 48 bucks is insane for this set. By comparison, the Batmobile that we got 3 years ago was $30. So we're up $18. I know it has more pieces, but it's about the same size. So it's just using more smaller pieces to make the same size build. That's not how price per piece should be viewed. So I think this one is insanely priced at 48 bucks. Also, it's crazy to see a price that's not on an even 5 or 10 for something in that price range. Usually LEGO doesn't do that. We are in new territory for LEGO set pricing. The other set people like you and I might be interested in is the Batwing for $38. It feels a bit more reasonable. And then finally, we have the most absurd of them, which is the 4+ Batmobile Pursuit Batman versus the Joker. Again here, $27. This makes the Juniors ATST look like a steal at $35. This set is pants on head insane for $27. I cannot believe they want $27 for this. I'll throw up some comparison shots of other recent sets with their pricing versus this set with its pricing. I just do not see it for $27. I cannot imagine anyone buying this set for $27. But what this set and what the other $27 4+ set is actually the Hulkbuster set. It actually gives the $550 Hulkbuster a run for its money as to which Hulkbuster is now the most insanely priced and stupid Hulkbuster set. I can't believe I'm saying that, but the $550 Hulkbuster does have some competition in that category. But solely looking at these two 4+ $27 sets, it tells you that the $27 332nd Battle Pack was no mistake. That set, and we already knew it was no mistake, it was going to be $27. The only way that set got changed in price from $27 back to $20 like it should have been from the start, because these 4+ sets should also be $20. These are $20 sets that are now $27. That's what's happened here, and that's what was going to happen to the 332nd Battle Pack. The thing that happened with 332nd Battle Pack is, I think someone at LEGO or on the LEGO Star Wars team basically was like, yo, MandRproductions will never let go of this. Or more so, like, the fans are just going to lose their mind because $27 is actually insane for a battle pack, and we know that, and we can get away with it for 4-year-olds because 4-year-olds don't know what money is, and their parents probably aren't hardcore LEGO fans or grandparents, and they're just buying it for a 4-year-old, so they're going to pay for it anyway and not think about it. But when it comes to that 332nd Battle Pack, you've got a lot of hardcore fans that are very invested in LEGO Star Wars, and now I still think the 332nd Battle Pack is a bad set because of the helmets, but the pricing was almost going to be the straw that broke the camel's back for many people, and them doubling back on the pricing saved their butts, to be frank, because $27 would have been insane, and we can see that $27 legacy price, if you want to call it that, still here with those 4+ sets, but not supposedly with the 332nd Battle Pack. Sorry if that was a bit long-winded, but into more of the superhero sets, we have some more oddities with pricing. We have Venomized Groot, which is cheaper than Groot from last year. So Groot from last year was $55. Venomized Groot, which is the exact same design, but with now more stuff. It has more pieces, and this isn't like a case where a set has more pieces and it's built with smaller pieces. This is the same Groot, but they've changed and added in more things. So this one's more of a one-to-one comparison when you're looking at price per piece, and so you're getting more stuff for less money with this Groot. This Groot is $50 versus $55 last year. It's very interesting to see in some places where you can see LEGO just price gouging, essentially, like with those 4+ sets we just saw, and LEGO like really retracting and being scared of sets flopping because of their price with a set like Venomized Groot. Now, to the actual set, it's actually really interesting that they're making something this outside of the box. I don't know why this exists. I don't know if they just had extra pieces left over, or if they really thought Venomized Groot is just going to be a killer idea. Now, the two sets that really matter for Marvel this summer, first up, the Endgame Final Battle at $100 with 794 pieces. It looks like a really messy set to me, but it's all kind of contained on this small stand. It's kind of like a diorama set, but for LEGO Marvel, but less pieces dedicated to the diorama part, which would have increased the price and you would have gotten less, you know? So I think that that's a good thing here. You get tons of minifigs in this set. If this was a Star Wars set, you'd get 3, 4, 5 minifigs if you're lucky. So pretty cool to see 7 different characters in this set for $100. And I think people do have a bit of an issue with some of the quality of the minifigs in these Marvel sets, and I'm not a big enough Marvel fan to know. Like when I see a Star Wars clone trooper, I know what's wrong about it, you know? But when it comes to Marvel, I don't have that area of expertise. I can just generally say, yeah, I like it, yeah, I don't. I like this set, but I do see some people have issues with the figures. We'll zoom in here on Wanda, though, because she is the second minifig this summer to be getting a waist cape, another waist cape on a LEGO minifig. We'll be talking about that in a minute with someone else's question. Just keep an eye on that. And then what some are calling the best LEGO Marvel set ever is the Spider-Man Final Battle. And this one is $110 with 900 pieces. It uses a very similar, albeit not exactly the same, obviously it's color swap, but it's still not the same design for the Statue of Liberty head as we saw on the Welcome to Apocalypseburg set from 2019. It's pretty incredible to see the Statue of Liberty head getting another use here. I don't know if this set was designed again by Justin Ramson, who designed the original one, so it's either the same person designed it or someone stole his homework, but still cool to see the same design. This set has way too many minifigs for $110. LEGO Star Wars would never, you know, but I think we have, what, 9 minifigs here? That is incredible for a $110 licensed set. Again, with Star Wars, you'd be lucky to get 5. Again, they have a similar stand design to what we saw in the Endgame Final Battle. The only comparison I can draw to, again, is the Star Wars diorama sets where they use a ton of pieces to create a very complex plinth, and this one has just a simple plinth, and it's only 4 big pieces, and yeah, big pieces are more expensive, but still, it's much simpler, much less expensive probably for them to make, and it allows them to put more focus into the set and, of course, into those minifigs. So pretty cool to see here. I know everyone wanted this set when the movie came out, and it might be a little late for some people, but hey, it exists now. I should have just done a whole video on the sets, but whatever. Next question from Whisper says, what are your thoughts about LEGO making a Stinger Mantis set with Cal Kestis minifigure? Personally, I see it as a major opportunity and cash grab. Yeah, they'd absolutely make some money doing it. I don't think they'll do it. I think they did the BD one last year because people wanted Fallen Order sets, but they wanted to do like the safest thing. What they've said in the past essentially is Fallen Order is too violent for them to make sets based off, but them doing BD1 to me doesn't really tip the scales towards them doing more sets. I think if they were going to do a Mantis, it'd be coming out by now with the second game having just come out. Like, it feels like the time would be right. Not to say they could never do it. There's years and years to come, but you just, you know, you live in the moment, and right now in the moment doesn't feel like it's going to happen. But I think about BD1, and the reason they would do BD1 is because BD1, or at least a droid of the same type, showed up in The Mandalorian or Book of Boba Fett, and because of that, they were going to make the mold anyway for the N1 Starfighter set, and so then they were able to make the mold the same for the BD1 character, and oh, we can make the BD1 character because it's also in this very kid-friendly show called Boba Fett. It works, but when it comes to Cal Kestis and a Mantis, not so much. So that's just my 2 cents there. Blaze says, what was the hardest part about becoming a content creator? And I've never really put a lot of thought into this, but just thinking generally as to what I see a lot of other people say, a lot of it can be finding like self-motivation, like making yourself wake up and work on a thing. Like lately I feel like I've been in a bit of a rut where I'm not waking up and wanting to work on it every day, but for a lot of days in the past 5 years, I have certainly woke up every day and wanted to work on it, and I've had stretches where I've uploaded daily for over 100 days, and not that uploading daily is like the catch-all strategy to becoming a successful YouTuber, but it's what I did, and I think it helped me a lot. The consistency is also kind of one and the same there to me, whether it be that you're uploading weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, every day, every other day, whatever it is. You just have to be on it for a long time to become successful. I mean, some people, really a small percentage, can upload a few videos and just really take off from the beginning, but for a lot of people, it's years and years and years, like myself, of just frankly sucking at it. Can be a bit of a slog for some people, and that's where a lot of people will fall off and not really continue with it. I think everything else, like learning how to edit and using a camera and lights, that's the simple stuff. It's like the day-to-day stuff where it's like, oh, I have to do this again. Oh, I have to do this again. And it's like, do you want to do this every day? And yeah, that's probably the hardest part. McLean says, what is your opinion on the LEGO Icon flower sets? I saw them at Target for the first time and thought it was interesting. I think some are better than others. The closest of those sets in the same family, I guess, that I've actually bought and built is the bonsai tree. I love that one. I think that was insanely popular for LEGO, and obviously they've done a lot more of the flower sets now. The biggest problem I have with some of the flower sets is they don't come with like a vase, and so it kind of presents on the box like they do, and I don't like that, and so I've like looked at them thinking they do, and then I find out that they don't come with anything, and you you have to like get your own cup or whatever to make them look pretty, which I guess makes sense and would make them look better and less expensive than an actual like Lego built vase, but still something that I've noticed. My question is, if I ever made Lego flower set reviews, who would watch them? Would it be the girls that like the Lego flower sets, or would it be the guys that are buying Lego flower sets for girls trying to figure out which Lego flower sets to buy? Just something to think about. Next question from Jared says, how do you feel about people who paint their Lego? I think they are some of the most creative people like in the Lego space. A lot of them are insanely talented at what they do, and it's a pretty niche group of people at this point, but there is like a group of them, at least in the past, that would go to Brick Fair, Virginia, and it was kind of this thing that only happened at Brick Fair, Virginia, where you'd have tables upon tables with like Michael MGF and Lego-Matic 9, my guys Ross and Aaron, and many others that just would bring cases of custom painted minifigures to Lego conventions, and I loved it. I thought it was insane to see just some of the detail that they're able to do by literally just hand painting a lot of these figures. So I think it's a really cool thing. It's something that kind of feels like it's going away, more or less. There'll always be the people who do it passionately like Ross and Aaron, but I don't think it's something that long term is gonna stick around or continue to be like insanely popular with other people wanting to pick it up and do it, because it is just a really difficult thing to do. Of painted minifigs, I do own two that fans have given me at conventions over the years. I have this really awesome Bob Ross Deadpool, hand painted. It's amazing. And I also have this really cool like weird red, black and white mixed color minifigure that looks dope as well. The people that paint minifigs are insanely creative and talented. Next question from Marcel says, would you rather have Lego still producing the new UCS plaques printed with the hole in the middle, or do you prefer the old sticker plaques instead? You know, for years and years we have asked for printed plaques, and so getting them is exactly what we have asked for. It's exactly what I have asked for. Unfortunately, it does have the dimple in the middle, and we knew it would have the dimple in the middle, and I didn't have an issue with the dimple in the middle until Lego tried to hide it on the X-Wing marketing. So it made me question what I wanted a little bit once I got it, if that makes sense. I think printed is by far the superior way. It's what people have been asking for. It's what I think the majority of people want. I suppose they could include a sticker too, and you could put the sticker over it if you wanted. I'm sure stickers cost them a dime a dozen, and it wouldn't be that expensive to do. Maybe that is it. Maybe that is the best solution, is to give people both options. But if it's one, I would go with printed, because that is the more premium option for the premium price you're paying. Irrelevance says, what is your opinion on the idubbbz content cop drama? Isn't that the craziest thing that I think has happened on YouTube this decade? Maybe I'm not remembering something, but the idubbbz like flip-flop of where he was and what he is now is pretty insane. And as someone who is obviously a really big fan of idubbbz, and I've gone to both the Creator Clash events that he's put on, it's kind of wild to see like a person change that much and change the way they think and their entire like ideology with life. And like there's a lot of drama around it for sure. I don't really know how I feel bad for him. I think at the end of the day is how I really feel. I think what most people just want out of idubbbz is to like just drop everything that he's like talking about at this point, like it's just all the crap, and just make fun videos like sewer reviews, you know? It doesn't have to be TanaCon, you know, really controversial type of stuff, content for people to want to watch it. It just has to be fun, wild, off the wall, you know? Like the old videos he would make with Filthy Frank and Anything for Views and Max Mofo, like those types of fun videos I think are really what is at the heart of idubbbz, and some of the stuff that I really enjoyed watching of his, of course, alongside the content cops. But if content cop's not what he wants to do, I don't see any issue with that. I just see an issue with like him dragging out all this drama stuff. I think he should really drop it and just start making fun videos again. And I do think he also made a mistake with Froggy Fresh. I think he should have let Froggy Fresh fight. He was the fighter I was most excited to see going into Creator Clash 2, and not having Froggy Fresh there was a bit disappointing, to say the least. But I think he's been pretty bad at handling everything that's been thrown his way, you know, and it's understandable. Honestly, on the internet, nobody ever wins at anything. Everyone always loses. It always sucks. It's always toxic, no matter what you do, right or wrong. It's, you know, that's just kind of my angle on it at this point in life, and how long I've been on the internet and everything that I've experienced. Like, no matter what you do, there's always going to be a group of people that don't like you and don't like what you're doing, and there'll always be a group of people that do. And so you just kind of have to take the good with the bad. Unless you're like Mark Rober, MKBHD, Tom Scott, or like Practical Engineering, like all of these people are like just generally very well loved by like 99.9% of people, but everyone else on the internet generally has a much like more mixed time, and idubbbz is finding himself on the very, very bad end of that spectrum. And I think the best thing he can do is just drop all the drama videos, stop responding to it. And I know it's easy from the outside looking in because I've been on the inside looking out, and you always want to respond to it, you always want to talk about it, but the best thing probably really to do is just continue doing what you're doing, chug along, and ignore the noise, as they say. Overpriced simple question says, why do you stream on Twitch and not YouTube for the Hoth series? Pretty simple answer. Twitch sponsored a bunch of LEGO people to stream LEGO on Twitch, and that's why I've been doing that. I've been sponsored by Twitch to stream exclusively on Twitch for some amount of content every month. It's not like I can't stream on YouTube if I don't want to, but when it comes to allocating my time, I hadn't been doing a lot of live streams to begin with, so the live streams that I am doing, I'm doing on Twitch. So make sure you follow me there, MandRproductions. It's been a great time. I appreciate everyone that's been there. I think I did like a 5.5-hour stream building a couple AT-ATs over the weekend, which was a good time. Dan Ben says, video won't come on. Did you try turning it off and turning it back on again? Next question from Bainesies says, what are your thoughts on the cloth waist piece return in the new Marvel Endgame Final Battle set? So I told you this was coming back, and it looks like cloth is here to stay again. So we have had in the past, we had cloth that basically went around the entire back of the LEGO minifigure, and then it would also cover part of the front of the LEGO minifigure. Then around 2020-21, they changed from the cloth piece to doing just a small sliver print on the front. Just an absolute cheapo move by LEGO if there ever was one. And now we have cloth back again, but it's kind of the middle ground. It's not as good as we had it. It's not as bad as it was or is right now, but it's in the middle. And I don't know how to feel about that. It's like, why don't we just have it as good as it was? And I know what's gonna happen when Captain Rex comes out. In my review, I know what I'm gonna say. If he has the cloth, it has been rumored that he doesn't even have that cloth piece, which would be even more insane, but we will see. We have to wait on that. But let's assume Captain Rex gets that half cloth piece. I'm gonna say that it's not as good as it could have been, because it's frankly not, because for 10 years until 2021, we had the perfect cloth piece, and then 2021 rolls around, they're like, no, we're gonna do printed like slivers of cloth, and now they have this really bad idea to do half and half, where it's like cloth that goes halfway around, but then it's gonna look really bad on the front because you're gonna have these weird gaps that like show between the leg and the cloth. And yeah, people are gonna defend this as they do with anything LEGO, but at the end of the day, it's not as good as it was. So why don't we just go to as good as it was? You know, like we had it awesome before. And it's the same thing with Clone Trooper helmets. Things were great until they decided to fix something that wasn't broken with regular troopers. Obviously they needed the thing for Cody, and it works for Cody, but why are we using it elsewhere? You know, same thing for this cloth thing. If you want to use not cloth pieces on sets for 4-year-olds, fine. But if we're talking about adult sets, and frankly, Clone Trooper sets right now are being made because of adult fans and teenage fans, not because 6-year-olds are buying them en masse, why aren't those sets getting the treatment, you know, that they deserve? And at this point in time, they're not, and it really sucks. Strawn Hay says, do you think LEGO would ever do Rebels sets again? Keep up the amazing videos. Thank you, Strawn. I don't know. I had a thought about this over the weekend, and it's a similar thought to how I had thought about Clone Troopers recently, wherein Clone Wars Clone Troopers, as they were in 2008, may never return because they've mixed Clone Trooper armors. And to that point, I think Stormtroopers, as they are in Rebels, will never exist again for LEGO. So that Rebels Stormtrooper design you see with like the extra long mouthpiece or whatever that we got in 2015, that can never exist again because the current Stormtrooper is the dual mold that is only ever going to look the way it looks. They can't change the print on it to make it look different, you know? It's the molded way that it is. So I don't think there's a chance we'll ever see Rebel Stormtroopers again, and that's not to say we can't see Rebels sets, but I thought of it that way, and I was like, man, they really put themselves in handcuffs with some of these design ideas. But when it comes to actual Rebels sets, I also think it's unlikely. I think that anything to do with Rebels, they're just gonna slap the Ahsoka logo on it, and it's gonna show up in the Ahsoka show anyway that they would make. So I doubt we see anything that's a Rebels set that is branded as Rebels. Like, we're getting a Ghost, and that is from Rebels, but it's gonna be an Ahsoka show set. So if you count the Ghost, yes, but I still think they're not going to brand it as a Rebels thing. It'll be branded as Ahsoka. Let me know in the comment section below if you know we'll get Star Wars Rebels sets again. Leave a like on the video and let me know if you have a question for next week's episode. Thank you so much for watching, and check out more awesome LEGO Star Wars videos on the end screen. I also put up more padding, so hopefully the echo is not as bad as it was, but you know, we'll get more. I'm trying.